How's it going, everybody? We are looking at a dive site in Dauin today, which is unusual for the area in the sense that it is a drift dive, so you will almost certainly do this by boat. Why is this a drift dive? There is a current system which is called the Bohol jet, which is coming from the east, and it hits Negros Island after passing Bohol and Siquijor. And where does it hit Negros? It hits Negros in the very north of Dauin, near the liquid dive resort, and you see this small point there. And because the Bohol jet hits us there right on, that's why we have such strong currents there. And a good example of how strong these currents are is this turtle here, which is actually making quite an effort to swim. And during that dive, I was lucky to see, just another turtle right there. And, observe how this marine reptile, which is obviously evolved to swim in the ocean, in strong current. See how this marine reptile is struggling, really. So the turtle is finning. The animal is swimming forward, but because of the current, the animal is actually drifting backward. And I had to make a significant effort to stay in place with this animal. So when you are on the dive site, it's almost always a drift dive. You will jump in and then you will drift to the south. And a consequence of these strong currents are also the many fish, because there's so much plankton in the area. Now, the dive site is called Mainit, and what does Mainit mean? The name obviously is from the native Visayan spoken in the area.
How do you say hot in Visaya?
Init.
Init?
Init.
Yeah, so now we know. And why is it called Mainit? Because the sand is heated by geothermal activity. So the sand it's not painful, but it's significantly hotter than the seawater. And here you see these convection turbulences. So when you're close to the bottom, you actually see how the hot water rises up into the water column. So this is quite spectacular. What I found here was a stonefish, which is of course a very dangerous fish. I made another video about this fish, linking to it, and you can see again, these convection turbulences are passing over this fish, which is a benthic fish. It's sitting at the bottom. So this is quite a spectacular dive site, both in terms of the marine life as well as in terms of the geology. So I've mentioned this already. You have a lot of fish there, and because the plankton brings all of these nutrients to the area, you have a lot of these plankton feeders like fusiliers or anthiases. You have big schools of fish in mid-water, like this one. This is a big aggregation of anthias near a rock. Now, most of the dive site is sand. There are occasional large bommies of rocks, overgrown with anemones, corals and hydroids, and there are lots of big sponges. Towards the end of the dive site, there are some artificial reef structures, which by the looks of them must have been sank quite a few decades ago. So a very enjoyable dive site, maybe not for the complete beginner diver, but if you're in the area, you should dive it. Leave any questions you have in the comments, and see you soon.